been a big week in video game sports news. Sports video game news? I don't know. Okay, whatever. It's been a big week in sports video game news. Video games that involve sports. First off, NBA Live got canceled again, and I'm going to talk about why I think this is a good thing for not only EA Sports, but the video game landscape when it comes to sports games. And of course, the NCAA officially ruled that student athletes can finally make money off of their likenesses, which the NCAA has been doing for, I don't know, ever. Thank you, finally. First of all, do I get any back pay as a former college football athlete? Probably not. Oh, you have to start. Oh. You have to make the practice squad. Okay. The point is, NCAA football games may be coming back because of this. And because of that, does that mean a game like Maximum Football might be in trouble? Let's go over all of that. So get this video a like. It really helps us out. Get subscribed. Of course, grab that cold one and let's party. Alright, so let's start with the one that's probably the most exciting to everybody that might be watching this. The NCAA has officially ruled the Fair Pay to Play Act that would allow student athletes to get paid for their likenesses being used. They're allowed to get advertisement endorsements, all this stuff. Of course, video games are also an option when it comes to having their likenesses used, which is another route of them earning money, because the only way they can officially earn any kind of money would be through any scholarships they may get, and that is not necessarily something that is guaranteed to every single student athlete in the NCAA. Now, I don't know if this will count towards all divisions of the NCAA. Me, I was in a Division III football school, and I don't know if athletes like us could. I don't even know if they even bothered to look. So maybe if back then I got an advertisement deal, would they even know? I don't know. Point is, this is big news because this allows EA Sports to finally bring the NCAA series back without any kind of, legal repercussions that they were facing at the time that NCAA football and the basketball series, kind of went away. It's finally available to come back. Players like Tua want to be involved. They want EA Sports to get back on this. EA Sports wants to be back on this, so that's a good thing. NCAA Football 14, whether you hated or love the recruiting system, whether you hated or love the gameplay and the ESPN involvement, the fact of the matter is people miss college football games, and that is why something like Maximum Football did pretty well over the last couple months, because we have not had a college football simulation on the market in some time. So people were having that itch that needed to be scratched, and Canuck Play more than delivered for what they have. And also news on their side, they added a fourth member to their development team, so that's going to allow them to make their game even better. But with news like this, what does it mean for an independent company like Canuck Play when it comes to making their college football simulation series? I think like Access Football, it won't really matter. Access Football has existed for the last few years, and Madden's been a thing, so why can't Maximum Football survive? The thing is, I think when it comes to the football landscape, when it comes to the video game side of things, the college football games always had a huge, passionate fan base. It's kind of like the real thing. It's college football fans are just rabid, they are passionate, and they love being able to show off their schools. They love the recruiting aspects of it, and people found themselves more engulfed and more just in tune with what the college football games are offering compared to something like Madden. I think a game like Maximum Football still has a place in the sports video game universe. The thing is, at the current asking price, I don't think that will work for them if they have a competitor back on the market. See, at the time, or now rather, that they are here, $30 might be a little steep for what they're asking to pay for, but there's nothing there. There's no one there. They are the ones that can lead the way with how much we can charge for this product that people will want. So they have that on their side. So I think making it a budget title in the future, I'm interested in what this really means for them, because of course the NCAA license is technically available at this point, but that is way too big of an expense. And I mentioned licensing in my video about things I wish would happen. But the thing is, the most important thing is we can officially talk about an NCAA football game being a thing. Everyone wants it back. Kirk Herbstreit's been all over this thing for the last, since NCAA college football has been eradicated from video games. And I hope this also means that we really start to see a March Madness series from 2K come back, or an NCAA series come back from EA Sports, because I miss playing college tournaments as well. I mean, we always talk about the college football side thing. What about college basketball? That is an awesome avenue. But one thing I am worried about when it comes to EA Sports being able to use the NCAA and the players' likenesses themselves, and this is one thing that, you know, when it came to, if we get a college football game, we won't have to deal with Ultimate Team. That won't happen. I assure you that if they end up going the route of bringing NCAA back, that Ultimate Team will probably follow it as well. And me personally, I'm not the biggest fan of Ultimate Team when it comes to the EA side of things. I love playing Diamond Dynasty and the show for some reason. I don't know. I think it's just a much easier thing to kind of pick up. Madden, it can be daunting if you've never touched it before. And that's the only one I touch. I don't play FIFA, so it's not the point. The point is, I think they really need to focus on the Dynasty mode for their first game back, and just hold off on an Ultimate Team for now. If you want paid DLC, make uniforms or something like that. All right, they did that back for 14. I know I have a couple of uniform packs that I can go back and re-download if I wanted to. Well, actually, I haven't downloaded. I don't know why I'm saying re-download. Whatever. Okay, so NCAA football, and by the way, this is a 2021 thing, so this is not something that will happen next year. I believe in 2021 is when the NCAA is allowing these players to be able to do this. So it's not like EA can't start work on a secondary football game in the college universe. They can already talk to the NCAA about, all right, let me get your licensing back so I can, you know, start making this game. They can start making the groundwork for it, and then maybe they can start getting these athletes permissions a lot closer to that date. But this is exciting. All right, so what do you think? Are you looking forward to the return of college football in the form of an NCAA football game from EA Sports? Let me know down in the comment section below. All right, so the story I really wanted to talk about, because I know the NCAA thing has been really covered by a lot of other people that probably are a little more, I don't know, in tune with that kind of thing, because they've been talking about it for a while. NBA Live has been canceled again, and I believe this is the 4th time, and they've had a couple mobile ports that were canceled that were supposed to be pretty much their AAA title for the year when it comes to basketball games. I got NCAA, or not NCAA, see, I'm still on it. NBA Live, I think it's 19. It was like $4 or $5 on the PS Store at one point a couple years ago. I was like, okay, let's do it. And they use the ESPN licensing in there, and I think it's the only game EA Sports actually uses the ESPN license at the moment for. So, I mean, it looked good presentation-wise, but, I mean, there's something about it just kind of fell off. The menus were sluggish and slow. If I'm remembering correctly, I haven't played it probably since I bought it, because, I don't know. Point is, NBA Live has been a they've had a rough go the last few years. And I remember back in the day playing something like NBA Live 2005, and I think it was around the time when they started introducing the slam dunk contest, the three-point contest, all of All-Star Weekend. And that was such an exciting thing, because growing up, that was my favorite All-Star Weekend to watch. And I mean, the dunk contest was awesome, the three-point contest was awesome, the freshmen versus sophomores, all the stuff that they would do for the NBA All-Star Weekend was just far and away better than what every other league was doing at the time. Point being, NBA Live was an awesome series at one point, and it's just really fallen off since 2K has just really gone, they've just done really well for themselves. Unfortunately, due to that, NBA Live has kind of suffered, just because, I don't know if maybe EA is just worried about Madden and FIFA at the moment, and NBA they just kind of see as, well, if we have the ESPN license, we need to use it for something, so put it on NBA. And the thing is, I don't think they're focusing their attention on NBA like they should be. And here's where I think them canceling this year is a good thing, because I had this thought when the WWE 2K20 information was coming out, the terrible art, and by the way, there's some awesome tweets from wrestlers of like, who the hell is this supposed to be? I mean, when I click it, that's supposed to be my name, but that is not what I look like. And even the wrestlers themselves are just crapping all over a game that they're probably not even playing. They just see what they look like and they're like, why am I being represented like this? Point is, and why I'm kind of bringing it up now is, I think NBA has the ability to kind of hopefully, and I know this EA Sports we're talking about, or let me back up. I know this Electronic Arts we're talking about, but I would love sports games, especially sports games, wrestling games too, to be a live service. Now, when I say live service, we're talking like a Destiny, so something that's periodically updated, or, well, in the case of Destiny, it's almost frequently updated. So you have new DLC coming out every quarter. sports series need this because we're at a point where MLB The Show 20 is coming out in a couple months, and I'm thinking, well, really, what can a baseball game do in 2020 that we really haven't seen before? Besides just, tweaking the gameplay a little bit, maybe adding a feature here or there, maybe adding a little bit more to a franchise mode, like in the form of owner mode. Okay, that's cool and all. It's something we've seen before, and it's something we should still have. Should absolutely be part of the game, but what can we really keep adding to these games? And we're getting to a point where these games are going to have large file sizes. We're talking Call of Duty recently that has, on consoles, I believe 120 gigabytes of data that is required. On PC, it's 175 gigabytes. So we're having these games with huge file sizes. Sports games literally are pretty much a rinse and repeat kind of thing. Now, I've owned several versions of the last WWE game, and they pretty much are almost carbon copies. And the one feature that may be missing from another one that isn't another is a showcase mode, which kind of would go over, something back in the history of the WWE, and you can kind of replay it through the game. But even then, it's all monotonous. Sports games have gotten so monotonous. There's not many things that are typically added every year, and if they are, it's because it's something they removed back then, and 5 years later, like, oh, guess what's back? Owner mode. Guess what's back? Create a stadium. Like, okay, I had that on Madden 2004. That game came out in 2003. Why am I in 2020 saying, oh, here we go, it's back, cool? Haven't had that before. Point is, when you have a live service, you can constantly update it, and the thing is, they don't have to worry about missing out on monetization because they can still do that. Think about an Ultimate Team, for example. NBA Live, we're gonna just kind of go over. So every draft, you can constantly update the cards of new players coming out, like new rookies coming or bigger cards. Like, the thing is, you can, just like any kind of basketball cards you could buy in real life, you can get like the new card, the new set. 2019 is out. Okay, cool. 2020. Oh, thought LeBron was good this year. Wait till the card next year because that 2020 is coming out. It's rated 4 more points higher. There's a legendary card. Maybe they get rights to a Hall of Famer that they can finally put in there. There's things they could do. They can monetize it still, which is the important thing to them and why they release these games every single year when they don't need to. Content updates can update the schedules so you can kind of continue from where you're at. I know it kind of muddies the waters when it comes to franchise mode because maybe you're 5 years down the road and now it's the 2020 season and now we got that updated schedule. But the thing is, you can constantly update the schedule, you can constantly update the rosters, you can constantly update Ultimate Team, add monetization. If you have a new jersey come out, you can monetize that and have a new jersey pack every season. There's things they can do that can make it better for the consumer because that is where EA's kind of had some problems. Point is, EA likes money. You're in the business to make money, I understand that. And they should be. I mean, if you're a business, your goal is to make the most money possible. And EA is in that business. They're in the business to make money, which is why games like NBA Live get released every year. But obviously, things like the situations happening now, them canceling one of their big sports titles, although that's arguable at this point. That's a huge blow to them, and they shouldn't let that keep happening to them, and they are. And letting that happen it's not good because it makes them look bad, it makes them look incompetent, and next year when they inevitably release NBA Live 21, they're going to be like, well, here's our game, buy it, $60, although 2K has been refining their series for the last 20 years and kicking our butts doing it. I really hope that the year they're taking off is to really, really think about what they're doing, and hopefully, when we're coming into the new console generation, that maybe they could just consider making NBA Live a live service. Test that out with NBA Live, all right? And if you want, make it a budget title. Kind of do what 2K and Sega did against Madden back in 2004 when they released NFL 2K5 for $20. Have that budgetary price so you have a way to compete with the giant monster that is NBA 2K, and test out the live service idea. Is it going to work? It could work. I think it could work. They can still monetize it. Me personally, I'd probably pay the one-time fee and maybe get some uniforms, but even that, look at me, I would still buy uniform updates maybe. That's the thing. They have alternate ways of monetizing that I'm obviously not thinking about either, but sports games are at a point of stagnation. There's not much we can add to them other than maybe new coats of paint and updates to the graphics of the game, that can happen maybe every 2 or 3 years. You know, that's okay. I mean, if the technology is there to make a game better, do it. That's fine. The thing is we're spending $60 a year on all these games, and that's the fault of us gamers. We're allowing this to happen. We are enabling these companies to pull this off. Take a risk, EA, on NBA Live, because NBA Live obviously isn't working out too well for you. Something needs to happen, and if you find out this is something that works really well after you tweak what the game needs to be tweaked with, fix the sluggish menus, fix the sluggish gameplay, really refine that presentation, really go all in with ESPN. And I know with making that a live service, getting the ESPN license over a longer term could be harder. I don't know the logistics of that either, but just try. All right, EA, I implore you, just try. If you've listened to me this long, if at all, which you probably haven't, just try it. Try it. What's the hurt? I mean, you're canceling these games every other year. You should do it. So what do you think? Do you think NBA Live and all sports games should find themselves as a live service, maybe release every couple years instead of every year and gouging us for money? Or do you think NBA Live should just go away entirely because, well, it's NBA Live at this point. What else is there to say? Or do you have another idea for NBA Live and what they could do to better themselves in the basketball simulation video game market? And of course, already about the NCAA, what are your thoughts on that? And that's all I got. So, of course, don't forget to like. Thank you for watching. Share this with a friend. @ me on Twitter @PartyBall. @ me on Twitch @PartyBall. And Instagram. I do that as well. So, get subscribed. And as always, thank you once more and party on.